Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I am so very happy that you are here with all of us today in this week's episode of Be One, Be You. We are diving into the theme, how your ego can trick you. First of all, let's explain, let's explore, let's evolve our own relationship to the ego. When I use the word ego, I'm referring to the part of you that stepped up into your psyche, in your body mind, in order to accomplish a task. Perhaps you were young, very young, a small child, and felt as though who you were could not really fulfill the task that was being given to you, the instructions that were being given to you, the input. Perhaps your mind was in another place. Perhaps you were in a state of connection into spirit, into the invisible realms, and possibly you were connected so deeply into the moment that there wasn't a way to really connect into what was being asked of you to accomplish. And so what happens, we have an amazing mechanism inside of ourselves to survive. And you chose to bring forth up from the depths of your psyche, usually from the root center and lower belly, a part of your power that could handle the task. And when I mean power, it means the you that is connected, deeply connected into the source of life within you. So you create a relationship where you are giving your okay to that part of you that is stepping up in a powerful way to keep you from being hurt, judged, condemned, violated, criticized, humiliated, or shamed. And you can repress yourself, you can hide out inside yourself, and you allow that part of yourself who now gets recognition. Oh, you're a really good girl. You're a really good boy. Oh, that was good. And you're trained to be able to fulfill the requirements being asked of you on the outside. The inside you doesn't have any acknowledgement or support, not being seen, not really being heard. The intuitive of you, within you, is not seen. The spirit realm that you live in is not seen. And if you are being seen, then what happens is that you don't need the ego to step up, that part of your psyche who has to find a powerful energy that is inside of you. Our evolutionary process and experience is connected to all of the life forms that you've ever been in. You are part of the elements, rocks and plants and trees and animals and birds. And now as a human, you have the ability to awaken. Whatever perspective or belief that you have created inside of yourself about yourself, such as, well, I can't really show up well enough. I can't really meet the task. However you perceive yourself is the grounding of your relationship with your ego. what happens to most of us is that we repeat our perception on ourselves. So when you begin to discover how you respond to yourself, how you see yourself, how you interact, how you engage with yourself, that's the beginning of working with the ego, that part of you that is used to taking charge. If you felt, for instance, sexually abandoned as a child, where perhaps you got confused, perhaps you needed your mom's approval and attention, perhaps she had a hard time with your boy energy or girl energy, and so your own sexual energies became stifled, shut down, and insecure. If you had a mom who needed your life force energies, also known as your sexual energies being life force, sexual energies turn into a repetitive pattern of needing to merge with another person's energy in order to feel good about yourself. So there are all of these complications that can happen through the need to connect when you're not being fully, in an authentic way, being really connected to for who you truly are. In order to keep you in a container, to keep you safe, to keep you in the belief that you have about yourself that perhaps you're not enough, that perhaps you can't fulfill what's being asked of you, and instead of exposing the rawness of your feeling, the rawness of feeling perhaps inadequate, less than, wounded, and not wanting anyone to see, the ego self that has created a place in your psyche, it's like it's got the throne. It will sometimes deceive you. It can trick you. It can hold steady from its role, the identity that your ego has, can take charge and give you exactly what you want. If you've been rejected and you have a rejection wound, your ego will make sure that you no longer accept yourself, that you continue to reject you, that you feel rejected by having you believe that you deserve to be rejected. The same pattern can happen through abandonment and betrayal. So I call it ABR, where you feel abandoned, betrayed, and rejected, or one of those. And through our evolutionary process, we're given the opportunity to crack the code to how we turn against ourselves, reject ourselves, abandon, betray ourselves, how we turn against ourselves. And until you recognize how you, quote unquote, do that, you are empowering that part of your psyche to keep the real you in the shadow, in the dark, within inside of you. And guess what? You keep repeating situations that are painful. So if the scenario here in your life is about getting wounded in relationship, having your sexual energies not really being honored, you want to explore inside of yourself how your own life force energies were rejected, abandoned, betrayed, how they might have been pushed away, neglected, judged, used, abused for someone else's gain, whether emotional, physical, psychological, and spiritually too. You want to pay attention to whether you are staying with you. You want to stay with your own response and reaction in yourself and how you treat you. It's pretty much how you're going to treat other people and how other people treat you. We're talking about how to open your eyes to see the ego part of you so it's not tricking you to give you false thoughts. There's so many false role models out there, such as in leadership and what it looks like to be a powerful woman or a powerful man. And it's still feeding the ego self that built itself into an image in order to support you to not feel humiliated, shamed, really bad inside, but not wanting anybody to see, or not even that bad, but just that you get to not be in your full power. You get to be in the false power that comes from your story, the false power that is created from you avoiding, stepping aside, or bypassing your true spiritual power. In all of the Spirit Gateways Institute courses that I offer and the trainings, the one-on-one work, the group mentoring that happens in the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village, what happens is that you are brought back to yourself. You are given the tools to come back into you so that you can see through your own ways of keeping yourself disempowered or overly empowered and being the victim, the outcome of a false self, the you that's not fully connected into spirit, into source. And through your journey, back through the ways that you separate from you, you experience the pain of being fragmented. And then you get to come into the harmony. There's a joy that happens as you come back into you, and you are not depending upon your ego, which will try to fool you into having you believe that you need it. When you see why your ego was created, how you did it, possibly to be seen in ways that you felt you didn't deserve to be seen, couldn't be seen, heard, received, possible ways that you've been deceived in previous lifetimes, possible ways that you were humiliated or shamed as a little kid in this lifetime, and you realize how you are perpetuating that pattern yourself. It's an incredible freedom that comes from experiencing what you've been creating in you, so that you literally are setting yourself free as you realize what actions, thoughts, perceptions, projections that you have put onto yourself. You recognize and awaken through the maze of checking out and going asleep and checking in and awakening. There's a part in you that's always awakened. That's the you that you're guided into throughout the Spirit Gateway's journey. And then as you awaken through into yourself, your creative energies begin to blossom more. Your perceptions clarify. You're able to then walk your life journey more fully embodied. The world needs your decision. The world needs your decision to no longer pretend and hide inside of you and then stay small, not speak your truth. But when you speak your truth, if you're connected to the ego where you haven't yet healed the perception, the wound perception, the wound experience, a moment when you might have been frozen in trauma, in time and space, you keep repeating, allowing yourself to be deceived, fooled, where you could start something and want to end it, where it becomes really difficult to stay with it. It becomes really difficult to make the commitment to yourself to come through the way that you've blinded yourself. Our ego's tricky. It can rise up and play a role in order to cover up your wound and to not face it. And so you might be acting out more aware than you really are, maybe stepping in to give advice or help in a moment that is coming from your wound or the disconnect between your soul and your body. In the Spirit Gateways Institute work, you're going to be given the tools and the steps to reconnecting into you. And that reconnection gives you that powerful presence of knowing what being connected to spirit and to source feels like in your body. It really is a feeling. And when you are opening through the doorways within you, those gateways, back into yourself, there can be grief that comes up. There can be sorrow because of the sadness of leaving oneself. Now, the ego can trick you so that you're not really feeling what's going on, so that you feel like everything's working okay, even if you feel caught in a box, even if you feel like your life's not really happening like you really want it to. And you can convince yourself that everything's okay, when in your deepest truth, it's not. Because you, your soul, the you that you are, the spark of the divine creation that you are, is here to realize itself and to live your life destiny path. So I invite you to come home to you through the doorways of meeting yourself and to be creating your career, your relationship, your financial growth and abundance from being one with you. And that's the experience of coming into the Spirit Gateway's work. When you come to my website, ayanalahi.com, IANALAHI.com, I invite you to subscribe and receive the 52-week video series of Living from Your Wild Heart, and receive in your inbox every week a meditation movement and wisdom teaching to support your complete union back into you. Thanks so much for joining with all of us today. I love being here with you and sharing these insights with you. Have a beautiful week, and I look forward to next time. Thank you so very much. All my love.